Welcome, students. If you're watching this podcast, this screencast, it's because you are struggling greatly in writing your sonnet. You're struggling so greatly that you'd like me to walk through the beginning of a potential sonnet for you to write. So in other words, if this is not you, if you're able to do it, and you're just being lazy or something like that, then don't watch this screencast. So let's get started. I'm going to lead you through my actual thought process, and with very few notes that I've taken in advance, I've just going to show you what it might look like if I'm going to think about how to write a sonnet. So we need a topic. We came up with some in class. We just kind of thought about them, but I offer this new topic to you here. It's this painting. It's a painting of a busy streetscape, and you see there's a bunch of stuff going on, and that'll make it much easier to write our sonnet, because our sonnet's going to be about this painting. And so if you're struggling greatly, please listen closely, because I'm not going to type out the words that you should put in your sonnet, but I will give you verbal suggestions here about how to start it. So all you have to do is listen to my voice, set up the sonnet on your page, and record it. So first of all, let's talk about your first stanza, which is going to follow this rhyme scheme, A, B, A, B. It's the beginning of a Shakespearean sonnet. So right now, please pause this video and open a new document and type A, B, A, B down the left-hand side of your page, just like I've done here. Okay, if you're back now, that means you just paused the video and you have a page where it has A, B, A, B on the left-hand side. Next, go down to the next stanza, and below that write C, D, C, D. So below your first stanza is this one. It's going to say C, D, C, D. Once again, pause the video, add this to the next part of your page right below what you previously did. Okay, if you're back now, that means you paused the video, and right now your page says A, B, A, B down the left-hand side, and then it says C, D, C, D right below that. Last, please pause this video and do these two things. Add E, F, E, F, and then G, G. These are the last two lines. Notice the last two lines are going to rhyme. So pause the video, and I'll be right back in a moment. Okay, we're back. So your page now down the left-hand side has A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Good. Those are 14 lines if you were to count them up. 4, 8, 12, 14. Okay, so I'm going to start you off. I'm going to look at the painting. At any point, if you need to come back to this, you can just pause the video with the painting on the screen. If once you watch this video you get the idea, you think you can do it yourself with a different painting or with a different idea, then that's fine. But at the end of this video, you're going to have, at the very least, the first stanza done. So I'm going to just look at what's happening. We've got this car driving through. There's a lady in blue right here, a man with a wheelbarrow, a guy with a motorbike, it looks like. This lady's coming out of a store named Dorothy's. There's flowers, there's sky, there's birds. Oh, there's this guy, I didn't even see him, looking out onto the street. This lady's walking into the apothecary, which is like a medicine shop. It's kind of like an old-timey pharmacy. Got a general store, we got fruit, we got a dog in the car, oh, we got a horse back here. There's so many things going on, so many things that I can write about. Little cat up in the window, lots of little details, and I can write about any of them. I'm going to focus at first on this lady in blue, how everyone's sort of going by her. Maybe she knows this lady, this guy driving by, everyone's going right by her. So, alright, I'm going to write in my first stanza, right next to my letter A, I'm going to put my first line, and I'm going to write this. In this one scene, there are more than a few. Oops. Right next to your A. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. If you need to skip back in the video and listen to me say it more than a few times, that's okay. Here's the line. It goes like this. In this one scene, there are more than a few. If you don't know how to spell a word like scene or anything like that, it's okay. Just try to do your best to write my words. So right next to your A, we're going to write, in this one scene, there are more than a few. Count it out on your hands, you'll see there are 10 syllables. In this one scene, there are more than a few. 10 syllables. Alright? Notice I didn't end at the end of a sentence, and that's okay because that line is going to go on to the next line. So listen to the whole sentence. I'm going to start up here and I'm going to go on to the second line. I'm going to write, in this one scene there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way. So the second line, and pause the video if you need to, is people who are trying to make their way. Notice it's still not the end of the sentence. So far I have 2 lines, and you should have these 2 lines on your page also. The 2 lines go like this. In this one scene, there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way. Alright, now I'm going to go to the third line, and here's the trick. I've got to try to rhyme with the word few, because the last word in my first line is few, and the first and the third lines rhyme. See how the second and the fourth lines rhyme. So here's my third line. Get ready to type it if you've been a struggling poet. And it goes like this. Down the street past a lady wearing blue. Pause the video if you need to. The third line is down the street past a lady wearing blue. 10 syllables. So far I've got 3 lines. It goes like this. In this one scene, there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way down the street past a lady wearing blue. Period. Because it's the end of the sentence, but it's also the end of the line there. So we're just going to click back. Oh, look, I took it right from the painting. In this one scene, there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way down the street past a lady wearing blue. There's the lady wearing blue. Alright, so I need the last line in my first stanza, so now I'm down to this B right here. It actually has 2 sentences, so here's my last line. Who knows where they're off to? No one can say. So I'm going to type, who knows where they're off to, ? No one can say. And notice that the word say is my last line here, and it rhymes with way, which was my last line here. So here's your whole first stanza. It goes like this. Make sure yours make sure your words are the same as mine. In this one scene, there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way down the street past a lady wearing blue. Who knows where they're off to? No one can say. Alright, if you need to rewind and listen to that again, I've just written for you your very first stanza. Now, we sort of are done with like a mini version of the poem because we can forget about those words at the end that need to rhyme, and we're on to the next one, C, D, C, D. So we can have a whole new set of rhymes here, but the first line of this stanza is going to rhyme with this one, and this line is going to rhyme with this one. But we don't have to worry about the words few, or way, or blue, or say. We can come up with new sounds, if we want to. So what I recommend you do is look back at other things in this picture. Look at this, all those things I pointed out before, they're things that we can write about. I don't know, what should we focus on? Shall we focus on the guy on the motorbike? I don't know, I kind of like this. He's smiling at the lady in blue and the dog. Yeah. Or I don't know, this guy kind of looks like he's got gold. Oh, they're bricks. I thought they were gold bars for a second. Alright, that makes more sense. Alright, let's stick with this guy because he's got this little dog, he's got this car. So, what's something that I could put right there? I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to say, a man in a car, dog alongside. I'm just going to take a moment and count my syllables. A man in a car, dog alongside, drives. That's 10 syllables. A man in a car, dog alongside, drives. With a smile on his glowing face, with a smile on his glowing face. Oops, that's only 9. I'm just going to manipulate this a little bit. Alright, with a smile on his big glowing face. I guess I can end that sentence there too. A man in a car, dog alongside, drives with a smile on his big glowing face. So look, our next line in our second stanza is going to have to rhyme with drives at the end. And then our last line in the stanza is going to have to rhyme with face. I'm going to let you try this line. I'll give you an idea for how to get started. The dog... well, here, let's think about words that rhyme with drives. Hives. We can get some partial rhymes. Replies, drives, replies. Yeah. Now look, if I'm really struggling, I can manipulate this line to end with a different word here. But we'll stick with what I came up with. We'll use a partial rhyme, the word replies. So I just have to lead up to that somehow. A dog also smiles. And one can only guess the lady replies. Alright, look, I'm going to be way over 10 syllables here, but we got to start somewhere. Let's count them out. A dog also smiles, or smiles. A dog also smiles, and one can only guess the lady replies. Oof, 17. Let's just take out the idea of the dog. What do we got here? One can only guess, the lady replies. 10. With a smile, with a glance of her. I don't know. Who knows what this line's going to be, but it's up to you. I leave you with an easier rhyme to rhyme with face. Alright. Once you finish this stanza, you've got 2. It's going to go from this one. In this one scene, there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way down the street past a lady wearing blue. Who knows where they're off to? No one can say. Second stanza. A man in a car, dog alongside, drives with a smile on his big glowing face. One can only guess, the lady replies. Alright? End line. And then when you get to your next stanza, just pick something else. We got the guy in the motor car, we got cat up here, birds, the colors, this guy with bricks, the little girl holding the lady in blue's hand, we got the lady in green over here, flowers, tons of things, this guy looking down, lots of things that you can pick on. I just want you to pick 1 or 2 other things to work on in this next stanza. So at the very least, if you followed these directions in the last okay, sorry folks, I'm not sure where we got left off. I accidentally paused the video, but we had a first stanza, and it went, sorry if I'm repeating myself here. In this one scene, there are more than a few people who are trying to make their way down the street past a lady wearing blue. Who knows where they're off to? No one can say. Then my strategy was to find something else in the picture to focus on, and I ended up with this guy in the car with the dog, and I came up with this second stanza. So this is the second stanza. A man in a car, dog alongside, drives with a smile on his big glowing face. One can only guess, the lady replies. And then I left off here and notice that this line is going to have to rhyme with this right here, face. Alright, and your next strategy for the next one is to just pick something else from this painting, the guy on the motorbike, the lady in green, any of these other things. Choose something to focus on for your third stanza, and you're almost done. At the very least, when I get back, since I told you exactly what to write for your first stanza and part of your second one, you should be at least halfway done with your sonnet if you followed these directions. Good luck.